cancer, our Christmas miracle, how my husband overcame terminal lymphoma cancer. Update. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, as many of you who have followed my channel have know about my husband's cancer journey, our cancer journey as a couple and as a family. Because when one person takes sick and has cancer, it's a family ordeal. It's a family situation. It's not just one person that is affected. Everyone in that family is affected. And yet the person going through the cancer diagnosis is the one doing the suffering. And so if you're not familiar with my cancer stories, go back and just type in my name and type in cancer, and you should be able to come up with the background and our journey together. And it was quite a journey. It was very, very difficult. It was very challenging. It was very scary. And it all started nearly 2 years ago, and it just suddenly came about. We had no advance notice other than my husband started coughing. Every 15 seconds, he would start to cough. And the cough got worse and worse. And then one day he developed some chest pain, which prompted him to go to the ER, which prompted a CAT scan. I knew before we got any kind of results that he had cancer. I just instinctively, spiritually knew it, and I told him that, and I told the doctor. And so when the doctor called, he was surprised that I already knew, but I said, I just knew it. And my husband had a huge mass next to his heart, which was causing his cough. And he had one on his adrenal gland, several on his spine, and a few other masses in other places. So it was a total of about 8 masses, and they were quite large. They couldn't do surgery. They couldn't do radiation. All they could do was what I call a truckload of chemotherapy, which was enormously brutal, absolutely brutal. And he took that for about 4 months. At the end of 4 months, he ended up with a reduction of 25% cancer reduction. And that just wasn't good enough for me, because he was still not feeling well, and the chemo had taken its toll. And they basically told us that he was in last stage of lymphoma. And so we were he wasn't scared, but I was scared. And that whole journey that, I talked about in other videos, and like I said, I'm not going to go into detail because you can go back and look at the videos, but it was a very, very difficult and challenging time, to say the least. And he had all the typical side effects of the cancer, his hair falling out, being very, very sick. He was constantly to the ER for one side effect or the other after each chemotherapy. And he just looked terrible. Was bloated up. It was awful. It was awful. And we were preparing for the worst and praying for the best. I kept a very positive attitude. I began to read books. I began to stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning doing research. And so with his doctor's permission, I put him on a very regimented diet, a very healthy way of eating, and one that is pretty well known out there in the anti-cancer circuits. And so I'm not going to go into all the details of it. He was on that for about 4 or 5 months before he came off of it. And he also started on one particular over-the-counter supplement that can be bought pretty much at any health food store. And it was a very inexpensive supplement that he began to take. And how I knew about the supplement was that my sister had a friend who had taken it, who became basically cancer-free, but she also did other protocol as well. So we're not saying that the supplement cured the cancer. We're not saying the diet cured the cancer. We're not saying chemotherapy cured the cancer. We simply call it a miracle because we don't know. It may have been a combination of all. It may have been one particular thing. We don't know. But this is what we did. and our journey. We don't give advice, recommendations, or suggestions to anyone. Every cancer is different. Every person responds different, and every journey is different, and what is right for one person may not be right for another. So this is just our journey and what worked. So after we began on the diet and the supplement, the cancer began to get reduced, and it was reduced down to 50%. And then the following CAT scan, which was a few months later, was down 75%. So we just kept doing what we were doing. And then finally, after, was about 1 year into the journey, from diagnosis, ouch, he was 100% cancer-free. The CAT scan, all tumors or masses, lymphomas, completely were gone. All 8 of them, completely gone, 100% gone. There was nothing there. And his tumor markers went from nearly 1,000 down to less than 200, which was whatever it was within the very normal range. So he was normal. And this was after 1 year. Now, he is no longer on the anti-cancer diet, but he does remain on the supplement. No chemotherapy, no radiation, no surgeries. He only had the chemotherapy in the very beginning for the first 4 months. And as I said, at the end of that, it was reduced down 25%. So when he went and had his CAT scan done yesterday, you know, you're always a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to say apprehensive, but you are very looking forward to what the results are. You want to know. So when he got his results last night, everything was normal. There were no masses. Everything in the CAT scan reports went normal, 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 normal. No detection of anything abnormal. His blood work is all 100% normal. This is our cancer miracle. This is our Christmas miracle. And so I don't know what works for other people. I'm not even sure exactly what worked for us. But I wasn't willing to give up. Cancer did change us. It completely changed us. It freed us to live more fully. I think people go through life and they restrict their life so tightly from living fully. And when you get a death sentence, like basically a terminal cancer sentence like he did, you realize that you want to live. And I remember all my husband said and I said was, we just want our lives back. And we got them back. And we're running with them. We're enjoying it. We're savoring it. So I pray for those who are going through a cancer journey, similar or different from ours, or any kind of health crisis or sickness. I pray that you have the same results that we did, a miracle. Okay. From my house to yours, may God bless you. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Merry Christmas.